That's right, Andrea. Rick Stansbury is saying that those road mistakes are really magnified. He also told us today, Jason, that Pancake Thomas, Hugh Johnson, and Justin Johnson, those three guys, they need all three to play well tonight if they have a shot at winning. You take a look at the lineups now for Louisiana Tech. One thing that really jumps out, Derek Jean, of those starting five, partner, he is the only right-hander. The other four are all southpaws.
And a big addition, Jacoby Boykins missed the last contest with his part in a fight to...
And the opening tip is controlled by the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech. A rare two-game skid. They're trying to snap out of it, and they rarely lose inside this building, Jace.
Western Kentucky starts this game in a solid man-to-man. Look for Coach Stansbury to switch his defense. Think you'll see a lot of zone throughout this contest.
And the first shot is bullseye by Eric McCree. That's his 32nd three of the year.
And a nice roll and replace action. You have to keep in mind the big guy rolling to the hoop, but McCree again, he's a big, but he's more of a guard. You must close out to him hot on the perimeter.
Pancake Thomas inside to Antoine Waters and one. And so Waters gets the bucket and a chance for the three-point play. 57% shooter. McCree picks up the foul.
And that's the bigger deal there. You love the fact that Waters able to catch, corral, and finish at the hoop. But a bigger plus, a foul on number 2 in a blue uniform. That's a good sign to get that quick one on McCree early if you're Western Kentucky.
Hilltoppers, they can get to the line. Earlier this year, that again, they shot 33 free throws. Waters knocks down the charity stripe, and he's got the three-point play. And we've got a 3-3 tie early on. Both teams will have their runs, of course. So Rick Stansbury said they have to survive on the road with the Louisiana Tech runs. The shot doesn't go down, and it's pulled down by the Hilltoppers. That's Hugh Johnson. Johnson really struggling with his shot until the last game, Jason, where he knocked down 5 of 6 from long range. There's the whistle. And it looks like it's going to go against Bracy. Daquan Bracy, the 5'11" freshman from Baltimore, picks up the foul as we take a look at Eric Conkle in his second season as the head coach of Louisiana Tech.
Well, a good adjustment if you're Western Kentucky. Lamamba, a 6'5" point guard, taking the smaller defender in the paint. The freshman has to work, do his work early inside, and get to a shoving match in front of the official.
Waters thought about it from outside. That's not his game. A little spin down in the low post. He goes high, and it's a rip down by Eric McCree. The last game, McCree with 16 points, 8 rebounds. 19th time in his career he's led in both scoring and rebounding. And there's yet another three from outside. It's Boykins. As you mentioned, they could have used him against Middle Tennessee.
And that matchup right there is what makes this team dangerous. When you have a dribble handoff ball screen between McCree and Boykins, so difficult to defend. Both guys can score inside and out.
There's a steal. They're averaging 7 on the year. There's a crowd pleaser. Derek Jean, the 6'2" sophomore out of Miami, gets his first bucket.
Rule number 1 on the fast break, you must stop the basketball. The defense, so much attention paid. So Boykins on the wing allows the finish in the paint.
Another steal. Boykins again. In conference play, he leads the league over 2 steals a game. Well, Louisiana Tech, they come in averaging 76 points, but only giving up 64. That's second best in conference play, third best overall in the Conference USA. Daquan Bracy, way off the mark on the left side.
Freshman point guard has to realize he has 2 horses that can flat out score the basketball, who've gotten the Bulldogs on the board here early. Must find the hot hand here in the first half.
Last week we saw Western Kentucky open up a 21-point lead over UTEP as Justin Johnson steps outside. And I know we talked about this last week. Jason, only 1 3 in his first 2 years. That's his 20th this year now.
Again, we talked about the forwards in this contest. 2 of the most versatile players in the country Already seen McCree step out, knock down a three. Johnson getting the Hilltoppers on the board as well.
Not only is that his 20th three, but he's 48% on the year. And there's a rebound by Johnson.
Well, he doesn't take a lot of three-point shots. But when he's able to pick and pop and you stretch that defense, he can tee it up. And the Hilltoppers on the road, as Coach Stansbury said, you need your upperclassmen to step up and produce with toughness. A good sign seeing Q Johnson step up and knock down a shot from distance.
That's his 48th this year as well. We mentioned 5 of 6 in the last game. He was really struggling before that. Another dunk. That's the second dunk already by the Duncan Dogs here from Ruston.
Western Kentucky's going to their curveball, back to a little 2-3 zone. You can't gamble and reach and miss. Allows Omar Sherman to catch, corral, and the emphatic throwdown in the paint.
Lamamba. Waters inside. Johnson. Boy, tough to score down there, but he draws the foul. It's going to go against, looks like a Derek Jean, the sophomore. Picks up the.
But growth is making up for those mistakes, getting the job done against UTSA. And here early, trying their hardest to get the ball inside to 23 in red to put pressure on the thin front line of Louisiana Tech.
Boy, Justin Johnson's really struggled in conference play, knocking down the free throws. Maybe next time we'll have you analyze. Looked like he did everything right that time. He took his time, but he was much better in the non-conference part of the season. Little backdoor cut. This one's stolen away by Waters. Little shake and bake. Justin Johnson deep in the corner. Waters with the tip. It doesn't go. And Johnson's there. Let's stick it back in.
The extra effort from Western Kentucky. You see live bodies, 3 and 4 guys in the air going for that offensive rebound. Johnson comes away with the key tip in inside.
5 field goals now for Western Kentucky. 2 of the first 4 were from deep. But they like to get Johnson inside, get his touches inside. Nice touch deep in the corner. And it's another 3 by Boykins.
Mike, let me tell you, there's not a lot you can do about that. That's called a jab series. And when you've made 2 3-pointers already in this contest, but you have the prowess to attack off the bounce, you must respect that jab. If you take a step back, Boykins will make you pay from 3.
Waters from 16 doesn't go. It's ripped down by Boykins. Boy, he's got a soft touch, huh?
He's an excellent shooter, but one of the better athletes in Conference USA as well. A multi-dimensional offensive player. I'm sure the Bulldogs are excited to have Zero back in the lineup.
He came in with 59 threes. He's got 2 already for 61. He trailed Austin Loop of Marshall, who had 71. Well, the women say maybe he'll catch him tonight if he keeps shooting the ball like that.
He very well could, because we know that Zero and Blue has a fluorescent green light. If he sees that orange on the rim, he has the green light to let it go. Already off to a hot start. And you talk about this team going to Middle Tennessee State, the big bad bully of the conference right now. Without your second lead scorer, you took that team essentially down to the wire. Even in a loss, that has to give this young squad some confidence.
Junior Lamamba gets inside, gets his first bucket. Incidentally, for Boykins, that's the 17th time this season he's had multiple threes. You said fluorescent light, or is it neon green?
Fluorescent, neon, blinking green light.
Okay. There's a whistle. And Denia White, the 7-footer, the redshirt sophomore of the Duck Hill, Mississippi, to go to the line shooting a couple of free throws. Let's talk about that neon fluorescent light. Eric Conco, during the offseason in the summer, he has a drill. And if somebody can, they have 1 ball, 1 rebounder. If they can hit 63s in 5 minutes, they get the green lights. Well, Boykins hit 73, which was a new record. And then McCree came up and hit 76 and broke that record. Let's have more on Mr. White here. Let's check in with Andrea.
It was Denia White's 21st birthday yesterday, and while he's only 21, he's already had to deal with pretty big challenges. He actually developed a heart condition, which required for him to get a pacemaker, and he received it this summer. He said recovery was slow, but he's feeling great and happy to be playing ball.
Wow, I did not realize that. It's good information. He's added 23 pounds from last year. White picks up the foul, becoming one of the premier shot blockers. That's Bracey. Check that. Daquan Bracey picked up his second. It's going to put Lamamba on the line. There's Eric Conco, 23 and 10 last year. Most wins by a first-year coach in this program's history. 6 wins away from another 20-win season.
Western Kentucky doing a nice job taking advantage of the size they have at the guard position. Junior Lamamba, 6'5", 205-pound senior guard against the 5'11" freshman Bracey. Taking him off the bounce, getting him on his hip, also posting him up inside.
Jalen Harris, this one's blocked by Jabari McGee. Knocked it out of bounds. It stays with Louisiana Tech. 12 on the shot clock.
And this is what the coaches of Western Kentucky want to see. Not just sitting back in the zone, letting guys screen you. We've seen the cuts and finishes inside. An active zone with live bodies flying around, contesting every shot. There, Jabari McGee skies for the defensive rebound.
I was going to say, speaking of flying around, he was really flying that time as he ripped down the rebound. There's Ben Lawson on the court for the first time. Lawson with the left hand, it's partially blocked. Again, it's White. In transition, Jalen Harris gives it up, and the whistle. Ben Lawson's going to be charged with the foul. Jason, we're looking at Ben Lawson's leg. You can't see it because his socks are pulled up, but his right ankle had deep bruise. He sprained his ankle on Saturday in that basketball game, and on Tuesday he was telling the media there's no way he could play. Zach Greenwald, the SID for Western Kentucky, said it was like a softball.
Showing great toughness, competing in this game. You're trying to continue a 2-game winning streak. You must do the job on the road. And you need all hands on deck. Ben Lawson toughing it out. But White meeting the challenge defensively. Last possession with a big-time block inside.
Let's check in with more on Ben Lawson. Andrea, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, you were talking about his ankle, and we see him playing here now, but just 2 days ago, he had no mobility whatsoever. He had sprained his ankle playing against San Antonio on Saturday and was in really tough shape on Tuesday, but the trainer spent all day with him. As we can see, he's feeling much better, but he still has a bruise going halfway up to his knee from his ankle injury.
Yeah, that was a nasty bruise, I'll tell you that. And again, Tuesday, he told the reporters there's no way he could play tonight, but here he is playing in the first half already. 17-14 3-point ball game. Washington, Jalen Washington, watching him in practice, Jason, he was very athletic. Outside shot, bring it up for Derek G. That's a 3, and that's going to be his 26th this year.
When you have an active defense, when you're active with your hands and your feet, you get deflections, and you can turn those live ball turnovers into easy opportunities. Bulldogs attacking in transition, defense not set. Trail 3-point shot goes down.
Yeah, Bulldogs 5 for 6 from long range. They average about 7 makes. Thomas catch and shoot off the mark, and this one's ripped down by Eric McCree again. Jason, if he continues to play, I know it's early to talk about this in the conversation, but the last 2 years, Louisiana Tech has had the player of the year. And if he keeps playing the way he is right now, he could toss his hat in for the 3rd straight year for the Bulldogs.
Well, he's clearly one of the better players in this league. Your team has to win. A nice drive to that baseline by Howard. And when your big man runs, you must feed him the basketball. The ankle on Lawson looks pretty healthy on that big-time transition jam.
Good point. I don't know. Maybe he's faking that sprained ankle, huh?
Plays like that, you forget all about that ankle injury when you're able to go up high for a dunk.
Eric Jean back-to-back threes now. He's got 8. And opens up a 23-16 lead. Boy, that 3-point shot can certainly change the complexion of a ball game.
You can see the contrasting styles. Western Kentucky trying to get that ball inside each possession. Conversely, on the other end, Louisiana Tech doing an excellent job of spacing the defense, drawing, driving, and also making the extra pass for timely three-point baskets.
Inside 10 minutes, 9:43. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a break.
He and John Stockton perfected the pick and roll, pick and pop. At his size, he could step out and knock down that 18 to 20 footer with great consistency. And in the time where you were allowed to foul hard, he was a guy that wasn't afraid to give up a hard foul inside.
Just ask Isaiah Thomas about that, huh?
Absolutely.
4 on the shot clock. More on Karl Malone right after the shot by Gene. It's partially deflected. Oh, nice job. They got the shot off before the shot clock violation. But it's an empty possession anyway. More on Karl Malone years ago. I might be dating myself, partner, but I was at Fresno State when Boyd Grant had some good teams. Every year they would play Jerry Tarkanian's Vegas team in the PCAA tournament. And they'd always lose in overtime or lose by 2. Vegas would go to the NCAAs and Fresno State would get stuck in the NIT. Well, one year Fresno State went to Memphis in the NCAA tournament. And they weren't cocky, but they felt good. They played Louisiana Tech. They lost. They came back and they said, holy cow, there was a guy on Tech. His name is Karl Malone.
Pretty good player.
Pretty good player.
And we're seeing a pretty good player out here also for Louisiana Tech. Boykins, his third three-point shot of the evening. When he gets going, he's a dangerous offensive player.
And I was joking about him catching Austin Luke tonight, but he has 62 now. That's 3 threes for him in the ball game. As they open up a 10-point lead. Largest lead in the game so far. Pancake Thomas, that's a 3.
For Western Kentucky, if there's one guy on this team that you must find, close out to, and run off that three-point line, it's Pancake Thomas, number 12 in red. Nice defensive stand. I like the trap. But when that ball's in the air, 4 jerseys have to scramble out, find the shooter, especially if it's Pancake Thomas.
Johnson rattles out. Lawson with a rebound. The left hand high. No. Justin Johnson's there. Boy, he is a bulldog inside.
So strong. Likes contact. Understands angles. A guy that is more athletic than given credit for, but he's a battler. A guy that's going to give you 110%, especially on that offensive glass.
Well, he's 6'7". He plays more like 6'9" or 6'10" in there. Huh? There's another three-pointer. And again, it's Boykins. That's 4 for him now.
And the assistant coaches for Western Kentucky just looking at each other like, what do we do? Some pretty good shooters on that bench as well. Honest White, Shamon Williams. They're seeing what they used to do to the opposition. A great defensive stand inside also. The Bulldogs, 8-point lead, looking to build.
Gene with a drive, whistle, and there's the bump. It's going to be Tobias Howard, the freshman out of Georgia.
That trip against Middle Tennessee State that they could have won that ball game. It's a 2-possession game with 3 minutes to go in the contest. Middle able to pull away, but having an electrifying score that can stretch the defense and put points on the board in a hurry would have been an added addition on the road in such a tough environment.
Down to the baseline, and Johnson rips down another rebound for Western Kentucky. Johnson coming off a back-to-back double-doubles as well. Pancake Thomas only has 1 3. Rick Stansbury says they need him to score. Tobias Howard, too much traffic. Not enough traffic for Johnson. He takes it in and scores.
That's the athletic ability I'm talking about. Johnson continues to move when he gave the ball up. Goes up high, extends with one hand. And he's a guy, you don't, looking at him, you don't think he's a big-time athlete. But if you're watching the warm-ups, he gives you a highlight reel type of show.
Omar Sherman started out at Miami. Actually started 10 times his freshman year. Nice spin. And he gets his second bucket.
Western Kentucky did a nice job pushing Sherman off the block. But the big lefty, great patience, takes his time, uses the spin cycle to get closer to the rim for the finish.
This one's coming back the other way, and it goes against Western Kentucky. Eric McCree checking back in. Q Johnson picked up that last foul. See the summary so far. Justin Johnson 9 points, but Boykins with 12, all on threes. Boy, Louisiana Tech 8 of 11 from long range.
On the season, 34% from distance, making about 7 a game. Already surpassed that total.
Yeah, 34%. The way they're shooting it, you'd think they're shooting about 48% for the year.
It's always good to be home, and it's always good to have your second lead scorer back in the lineup. A team coming off a couple losses, hungry for a victory.
Yeah, they won 7 of 8, and they lost to UTSA by 1, 69-68. Of course, UTSA, that was in Texas. Back-to-back losses to UAB and Middle Tennessee. Home Saturday against Marshall. How about UTEP going into Huntington, huh? And laying one on Marshall. Marshall at home is tough to beat. Gene with a length drive. Waters with a rebound. Johnson gives it up to Waters. Uh-oh. You knew that was going to be trouble as soon as he threw it up. Well, look at Justin Johnson.
That's going to be the second foul on Eric McCree. Would love to that ball in transition to have been bounced to McCree, who was streaking on the left side. Boykin on the right. Gene in transition. That's why as a guard, you must have peripheral vision and know where everyone is. He made his mind up when he got the basketball. He was going to give it up to Boykins. That's a play that McCree should have finished with an emphatic jam from the left-hand side of the floor.
Well, you mentioned that's 2, so he goes to the bench now with 4:26 to go. As a matter of fact, he's been in double figures every game but 2. In the last game, he was in foul trouble. He had 8.
Western Kentucky needs a bucket. Do a nice job there, isolating Johnson in the post. You see he has the whole side of the floor. The step back, the contest. Got a piece of the wrist there, and Johnson earns himself a trip to the foul line for 2.
Johnson, only a junior. Misfires again. Okay, you're a pretty good player back in your day. Let's analyze his free throw. I mean, he's taking his time. He's not hurting it. And in practice, they say he can knock it down. I know game's different than practice. It's that one.
Would love to see him hold that follow through. Everything looks good. A lot of times free throws is all about confidence. You must see that ball go through the hoop. But a guy shooting 54% from the field, 47 from distance, he must be a better free throw shooter, especially late in games.
There's the backdoor slam. Another dunk by the Duncan Dogs.
Bulldogs worked on this play multiple times in practice yesterday. And seeing the zone, you screen that zone in. You sneak Boykins in from the opposite corner. You throw that ball up high and let him go get it.
That's 3 or 4 dunks already. When we talk about the Duncan Dogs, they coined that phrase back in 1982 when Karl Malone and Big Will Simmons were slamming them down. And Eric Conkle, during his introductory press conference, he said, we're going to keep that up. Well, they had 96 in 2.
Throws it up high, goes up, gets it, and sends it home. He's gotten the Bulldogs off to an excellent start here in the first half on their home court.
9 assists for the Bulldogs so far. They come in with 16. That's number 2, averaging 16, I should say. That's second best in Conference USA. There's Harris, the freshman. He had 15 in Boykins' absence against Middle Tennessee on Saturday. Boykins, boy, he is smooth. 17 now for Boykins.
Mike, as a shooter, when you see that ball go through the hoop, if you're able to catch and shoot, let it fly, now your confidence has risen. Now you go off the bounce. Now you can use your step back and go into your bag and show everyone in this arena your prowess at shooting the basketball. That young man is in an excellent flow here in this first half.
Athletic, great range. Those are deep threes. He's got a year left. I mean, Paul Millsap, a former Bulldog, just made his 4th straight NBA All-Star team, but I think the NBA scouts are going to like this young man next year, the way he can stroke it.
He has a skill that is coveted at any level. A guy that can flat out shoot the basketball. Great size at 6'6". And partner, these shots aren't hitting the rim. He's shooting them from deep.
He sure is.
And they're finding themselves straight down through the nets.
Boykins again. This is a 2 if it goes. Boy, nothing but net. He's feeling that, huh? 19.
Now is the point whenever he comes off a handoff or a ball screen, you must send 2 defenders at him. Make him prove that he can pass the basketball and make someone else better. Right now, he's showing he is beating you single-handedly, seemingly, scoring the basketball on the offensive end.
He's only missed 2 shots, 7 of 9. There's the drive on the baseline, and Q Johnson gets pushed out of bounds. So the foul goes against Louisiana Tech. Jalen Washington, 6'8" sophomore from Tennessee. Washington goes out, and Oliver Powell, the rookie out of Texas, checks in now for Eric Conkle. So Q Johnson, coming off a 19-point game. He's got 4 here in the first half. So Johnson, a 73% shooter, knocks them both down in conference play, hitting 81 from the stripe. 81%. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Western Kentucky staying in this 2-3 zone. You must recognize where the shooters are, especially Boykins. He's proved, even with guys draped on him, he can knock them down.
Too much traffic. Back out to Jean. Jean off the drive. Wow. Derek Jean, beautiful drive, no finish. In transition, Pancake Thomas. Rejected by Boykins. And Boykins is charged with a foul and a big grin on his face. You know he's thinking, I've got all ball there.
Well, it's no foul. He goes up high. Meet me at 10 feet.
Oh, no foul. I stand corrected.
But there's something about seeing that ball go through the hoop that makes you play defense a little bit harder. Track down in transition, and the emphatic block then goes up high for the defensive rebound.
Well, we're talking about McCree and Justin Johnson, the double-double machines. Boykins might be on his way to a double-double here tonight. Hugh Johnson, this time on the drive, knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Western Kentucky. They say that the Bulldogs touch it last.
Hugh Johnson trying to get himself involved. We talked about his breakout game, the last contest against UTSA. Prior to that, 2 for 14 from 3 at the previous 2. They need their senior to step up and make plays on the offensive end, especially now that they find themselves in an 11-point hole.
Lamamba, the feed to Johnson, turns, and he thought he had it, pops out. Minute 5 to go before halftime.
That's a good offensive possession. You got the ball to the guy you wanted to have it. 2 feet in the paint, he raises up. He just missed it. He's going to make those shots. You must continue to get the ball inside your Western Kentucky.
Derek Jean misfires. Missed everything. Howard leads the break, gives it up. Lamamba, and another block. But it's stuck back in.
But great vision there in transition by Howard. Again, he didn't telegraph that pass. He knew where everyone was. And give Johnson credit once again, trailing that play for the tip in.
Sherman leans in and 1. So Omar Sherman, the 6'9" junior out of Duncanville, Texas, gets 6 with a chance for 7 now with 28 seconds left on the clock.
And what made that play? The ball fake from Jean shifted the defense. The rifle pass into Powell. He drew that defender, had to step up and respect it. Nice drop in for Sherman. Steps to the line and completes the 3-point play.
He's got 7. He's been in double figures 5 of the last 6 games for Louisiana Tech. 25 seconds to go now. Hilltoppers need a bucket to head for the locker room. Cut this to 10. A 3 would cut it to 9. Pancake Thomas gives it up. Lamamba deep in the corner. He's not the 3-point shooting threat. Boykins, he wanted to finish that first half with a little exclamation point. Your thoughts on the first 20 minutes?
Well, the way this half is going, I think everyone in attendance thought that shot was going in. Contrasting style.
I spoke to him, and he said that the number one thing is that they can't let Boykin go 5 for 5. He said they have to rebound him, and that he's the main thing making the big difference in the game right now.
Okay, Andrea, thank you. And they open up the second half, throws it out of bounds, another turnover. They had 7 of those in the first half. Louisiana Tech just 3 turnovers in the first 20 minutes.
Well, Western Kentucky, you talk about what you want to do at halftime. You come out and one of your senior leaders throws an errant pass. 8 turnovers. They only had 10 made field goals. Those are not great percentages, but this is the end of the fourth. They have to get the job done. Lucky that the shot was missed inside there.
Yeah, Bracy averaging about, another turnover. Back-to-back turnovers. Some miscommunication there. Q Johnson looking for Waters.
Well, just an errant pass. 2 consecutive turnovers. You know, you're pushing the ball in transition. You're trying to attack early before the defensive set, but you must make quality passes. Sloppy play on both ends here to start this first half.
Western Kentucky with back-to-back empty possessions, and they misfire, and Sherman rips down the rebound. Derek Jean brings it up. Daquan Bracy, the freshman out of Baltimore, averaging about 27 minutes. Only got 5 in that first half. Wow, that's a nice touch. 21 now for Boykins.
We talk about running him off the three-point line, but he's a left-hander that wants to go left. You must take that side of the floor away. He must see 5 jerseys that are red facing him at all times when he has the basketball.
That's a 2 for Pancake Thomas. He only had 4 in the first half. That gives him 6, and it's 43-31. How about the numbers, though, with Bracy? Only a freshman, 120 assists, 35 turnovers. That's really taking care of business.
Especially at the freshman playing the point guard position. The toughest position to step in and play right away. Doing an excellent job for the Bulldogs.
Bracy, 5 straight games with at least 8 assists. There's a whistle before the shot.
And that's going to be called every time. A moving screen called on Lamamba. Trying to go to the dribble handoff, but you can't just run through a guy. You must come to a stop and allow that defensive player a position to get through, whether high or low. Cannot run through him, especially in front of 2 officials standing right across from him.
We just saw Rick Stransbury, the all-time winningest coach at Mississippi State. Last year at Texas A&M, they won 28. He was the associate head coach, takes over this program. Wow, look at the crossover by Bracy. There's quick as a cat.
We call that a body snatcher. Goes from left to right with quick explosiveness. Creates that angle all the way to the hoop for an easy layup.
I was just going to say, Stansbury and Western Kentucky, they were picked 3rd in Conference USA. Did that surprise you, considering the fact that he took over a team with absolutely no guards? 3 guards were kicked off the team last year. He had to go out and get 3 graduate students to fill up the backcourt, yet they were still picked 3rd.
Well, we have Justin Johnson and Q Johnson, 2 guys that are proven commodities in Conference USA. Couple that with Pancake Thomas, who we've seen get hot. Offensively, this is a team that can put points on the board, but you must defend. And here, Lamamba put on skates. Bracy, the left to right crossover. Again, we call that when you're playing pickup in the gym. That's a body snatcher moment. Easy layup inside.
Earlier we talked about Lawson sprained ankle. Lamamba almost broke his ankle on that one. 45-31. Eric Conkle. Last year, just one of 2 teams in Conference USA to knock off both the regular season champs, and Middle Tennessee, the tournament champs. Pancake Thomas misfires. Bracy at 5'11" goes up in skies, rips down the rebound.
Love the pace that Bracy plays with. Understands how to attack there, but entry pass. Again, catches Waters trying to reach over the top. Sherman able to corral, gets that angle. And Stansbury wants to talk it over. High-octane offense. Like Louisiana Tech has shown throughout this contest. This is a gut check moment right here with 16:30 to go here in this contest.
La Tech up by 16, largest lead in the ball game. Second half, Western Kentucky 1 for 4 with 3 turnovers already. That gives them 10 for the ball game. Lamamba, line drive. That's a 3 for Lamamba. That's his 12th.
And Lamamba, not the guy that I'm sure that play was drawn up for, to take a 3. But you take him how you can get him. A timely 3-point basket for Western Kentucky.
McCree turns, fires, pops out. Waters comes down with a rebound. McCree. We mentioned the 10 double-doubles in the last 17 games, a couple of fouls, so he took 2 shots in the first half. Lamamba with the drive. Lamamba's going to the line shooting 2. Lamamba getting aggressive on the offensive end.
Well, a great attack. No, the big 3, when you think of Upshaw, Giddy Potts, and Jafori Williams, who's one of the best players in all of college basketball, that defense is going to be put to the test in Murfreesboro, Tennessee next week.
What are we looking at? A 59 to 55 type ball game? Two very good defensive ball clubs?
It very well could be. But Middle Tennessee has 3 guys that can put points on the board in a hurry from a variety of different ways.
Old Dominion not averaging a lot of points, but they have had games where they scored 86 against Marshall. They had they got beat by Charlotte at the buzzer. John Davis hit one with 0.2 seconds to go, but that was a 72-70 ball game. So they can put points on the board, but a very, very strong defensive ball club. Bracey, there's another crossover. McCree gives it up. White gives it up, and another bucket for Boykins. He's got 23. That's his 620-plus game this year with a high of 26.
Well, the strength by White there, filling the double team and then the vision to find Boykins, slice into the hole. The Bulldogs once again pouncing on the basketball. Active hands, draws that ball loose. Thomas able to fall on it and get a timeout. Together throughout this contest.
Operative phrase there is the roller coaster season. I saw that graphic. Kind of expected that, though, right? When Stansbury took over first year with no backcourt, it was going to be a work in progress. And as he said, coming in at 5-4 now, over 500 in conference play, nothing's come easy for this team. And while they're challenged in some areas, he said these guys have really worked their butts off. Every one of the players given 110%.
That's what you want. You want your team to compete. Give yourself an opportunity in each contest to have a chance to win. And again, when shots aren't falling, you can defend, you can rebound. And just haven't had an answer for Boykins and company throughout this contest here tonight.
Eight on the shot clock now. McCree off the dribble, stops. Nice body control for Eric McCree. He's got 8.
He's so smooth at 6'8", 225. A guy that doesn't play inside a lot. He'd rather step out, shoot it, or drive you. And White on the interior, taking control in the paint. Offensively taking control. McCree saddled with those 2 fouls. Only played 11 minutes in the first half. Making his presence known offensively there.
Justin Johnson had 12 points, 6 rebounds in the first half. It rattles out. Jalen Harris with a crossover, and the left-handed shot doesn't go, but here comes Justin Johnson now, starting the break. Pancake in transition, bring it up.
Western Kentucky has had success when they're able to get stops, push that ball in transition before the defense can get set, getting layups, opportunities inside, or the timely transition 3-point shots there from Pancake Thomas.
Thomas over the last 4 averaging 17.5. He's got 9 now with 13 minutes to go. Now 12. 6 on the clock. No problem for McCree. He's got 11 now.
Louisiana Tech 6-3 in Conference USA. But the league must be on notice. They have 2 offensive weapons that not many teams have.
Lawson with a second dunk. He's got 4, both on dunks. Well, last year in the overtime win over Louisiana Tech, Lawson blocked 2 shots in the final 20 seconds. But the big question now is the hole too deep to dig out of right now with 12:15 to go.
Well, there's plenty of time left, but if you're Western Kentucky, you can't score 2, then allow Louisiana Tech to come down and hit 3-point shots. Lucky there that Boykins missed the dunk. Love the push in transition. Johnson earns himself a trip to the foul line.
You're going to give the foul to Boykins. Janiah White thought he got him, the 7-footer, but Boykins picks up the foul. Puts Justin Johnson back on the line.
Maybe the easiest opportunity Boykins has had throughout this game. A baseline drive. Lane completely opened up like the Red Sea. Goes up high and just doesn't finish the jam. The easiest opportunity 0 on blue has had this evening.
Johnson with 13, but that's his first point here in the second half. Last week against UTEP in our BN Sports game, and he got hot right down the stretch. He had that 21-10 double-double. Hits both free throws, gives him 14. Johnson goes out to catch a breather now with 12 minutes to go.
Partner with just under 12 minutes to go. It's an 11-point game. The Hilltoppers can sit down, spread out, string together some stops. They're right back in this game, but they must control the basketball. This Gracie kid on display throughout this contest.
Janiah White, 7-footer. I thought he struck 2 blocks tonight. 18th time he's had 2 blocks in a ball game. Knocks down the free throw. He's got 4. You know, at this level, where you're supposed to be able to use both hands, but Eric Conkle's Gracie really is ambidextrous. I don't know if he was just singing his praises or if he meant it, but he can go any hand, either hand.
Moving screen once again on Western Kentucky. Lawson, you must come to a stop when you're setting that screen. But back to Bracy as a freshman, the point guard position. You've seen Western Kentucky try to post him. He's going to fight you. The young man that playing point guard has had 5 games where he's had 8 assists, 5 in a row. 5 games in a row, this young man had 8 or more assists. Excellent freshman campaign this season.
Top freshman assist man in the country, as a matter of fact. There's a steal. Pancake Thomas. Thomas, good hustle, gives it up. That's a 3 for Lamamba. He passes up. Lamamba takes it that time. Another line drive, 3. There's 11, a couple of threes tonight.
That was the right decision. He passed up a shot that he wasn't comfortable taking. Pancake Thomas attacks downhill, draws that second defender. Now Lamamba, his feet are set here. Right into that 1-2 pull-up.
With 4 assists in the ball tonight, and only playing 5 minutes in the first half. Foul trouble. And Gracie with the rock right now. And they're going to call this one against Tobias Howard.
And that's what makes that crossover such a lethal weapon. He's left-handed, he's going left. If you don't cut him off, he's going to explode by you and put the onus on the official to make the call. If you lean, he's going to cross you up and get down the lane anyway. Excellent young competitor. And this Louisiana Tech team has a lot of nice pieces, young pieces, that they can build on going to the future.
Sherman with a left hand. Of course, last year they had Alex Hamilton, but they said during the practice today that Sherman probably gives them that post present they didn't have last year.
Well, Sherman, I tell you what, seeing him yesterday in person for the first time since his freshman campaign in Miami, he looked great. He's shed about 25 pounds, got in great shape. And you can see now he can string together minutes, can bang inside. Doing the job, committed to being an excellent college basketball player.
Howard after the skip pass, a rebound by McKee. Thomas, Pancake Thomas, a little bit too strong. Lawson keeps it alive. And down on the baseline, and the whistle's going to go against Sherman. Jabari McGee will go to the line, the redshirt sophomore out of Tennessee. Tennessee transfer. That's going to be 2.
Well, extra opportunities. The Hilltoppers doing a nice job sticking with it, tapping the ball out, getting offensive rebounds. The draw and dish, McGee goes up. You have to finish those plays. That has to be a three-point play opportunity. Now McGee, a 68% free throw shooter, steps to the line, misses the first, and partner, that's why you must convert those layups inside.
Now, speaking of free throws, we talked about Western Kentucky in the first half, their ability to get to the stripe over a 40-minute game, but they were just 6 of 11 in that first half. The way this game's going, I'm not saying that's going to be the ball game, but when you shoot less than 60% from the line, that's going to hurt you. First point for McGee.
12-point game. 9.5 to go. There's still so much time to go. Western Kentucky now switching up their defense once again. A little 1-3-1 action here in the half court.
Derek Jean off the drive with the left hand, high off the window. Derek Jean scores. He's in double figures with 10.
Another young player, sophomore from Miami. 10.6 assists in this contest.
And Ben Lawson's going to the line now. Hilltopper's picking it up a little bit. It's 11 of 17 from the stripe right now.
You move the ball against the defense, and when you're going against a broken defense, guys are scrambling around. You attack downhill. The shifty in and out creates that angle. The layup inside over the 7-footer. Nice play from the sophomore.
So Tech with 4 players now in double figures, and we still have 9 minutes and 8 seconds to go. Saw that last shot by Derek Jean. Boy, his rookie season, twice he was in the top 10 with the ESPN top 10 plays of the night. Probably the most memorable shot, broke a 93-93 tie at the buzzer with a half-court shot to beat Marshall 96-93 last year. 61-48, 9:04 to go. Louisiana Tech just 1 for 1 from three-pointers in the second half. Bracey with a nice teardrop.
Oh, just a complete breakdown defensively. That's one screen set. Albeit it's from McCree. You must have eyes on him. But you allow Bracey to gallop down the lane unimpeded. Little floater before he's put 2 feet in the paint.
Couple of freshmen on the court now. Paris rings up a 3. Stansbury saying they need all they can get from the bench. Paris still going through that freshman transition, but he was a big-time scorer. 38 against Oak Hill Academy, 34 against Hargrave. Stansbury needing some points, so going to the bench right now.
They need stops. They're a team that can score points, but they must need stops trying to come back in this game. Got one there, defensive rebound. Hugh Johnson pushes in transition.
3 cuts it to 9 now. Johnson, nice drop step on the baseline.
Big time move from Justin Johnson. You feel the defender leaning on you, puts him in the blue. But this sophomore point guard doing an excellent job keeping everyone happy. And when asked to score, you see 15 big second half points. A lot of quality young players that you hope stay in college for multiple years so we can watch them grow. But I think 2 of those guys are going to find themselves on the NBA roster very soon in the next few months.
A little traveling music for Jean. He tried to split the defense. How about the job by Syracuse in overtime? Talk about individual performances last night, huh?
Gillen, the shot he hit. You make 10 3-point shots, 41 points on the road. You're back against the wall. The comeback. And don't look now. Syracuse was left for dead by a lot of people early this year. Jim Boeheim getting the job done. Big win on the road against the Wolfpack.
Skip pass. Howard, little runner doesn't go. Rebound comes out to Boykins. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. It's just a 10-point ball game right now. Boykins lines up a 3, a little bit too strong. And the rebound taken out by Tobias Howard. Waters trying to finish the break. He does. 8-point game.
Louisiana Tech got away with one there. Waters got hit on that layup. That could have easily been a 3-point opportunity. But partner, once again, long shots, long rebounds. If you get stops, you're going to have opportunities. 8-point game now. Hilltopper's drawing closer.
Beautiful entry pass inside to Janiah White. Put it right where it had to be.
That's the third time tonight that Waters is giving an angle to one of the bigs of Louisiana Tech, who honestly struggle to score if you stay between them and the basket. You can't allow White to get that angle to the hoop.
Hilltoppers were on a 7-0 run before that bucket. Now Justin Johnson, 18 points. He's approaching another double-double tonight.
A big boy play there from Justin Johnson. Drops that shoulder, puts it in the chest of McCree. Powers that ball to the hoop.
Off the mark for Jalen Washington. Paris with a left hand. Probably should have kicked it out. Speaking of kicking it to the corner for a 3-ball. McCree now with 14.
Mike, his expression never changes. So cool, so calm, so smooth. Your power forward catches it in transition, doesn't attack the hoop, steps back, and knocks down a timely 3-point shot.
Yeah, he's only really had one bad game all season long, was the opener, as Waters takes it in for the flush. So Western Kentucky showing their dunking ability here in Ruston as well. I was going to say, McCree only really had one bad game. That was the opener against South Carolina. He was 1 for 8. Double figures every game but 2 for number 2. McCree. Boykins is there with the stick back. He's got 25, one shy of the season high.
When you lose contact with him from 3, he's going to make you pay. And when you don't put a body on him when the shot goes up, crashes in for a big offensive rebound tip in.
Foul goes against the 7-footer, Janiah White. 4:44 to go before they put this one in the books, unless it goes to OT, of course. 2 of the last 3 have gone to the extra 5 minutes when these two teams have gotten together. Down 11. Thomas. Louisiana Tech really picking it up on the defensive end now. Justin Johnson using that 240-pound frame. He's got 20.
That's just grown man business inside. Big boy school from Justin Johnson, making a way, powering his way for a tough earned 2 points inside.
7 rebounds, 20 points. He's already has back-to-back double-doubles. Gene fires. Sherman. Tough to stop when he turns with the left hand.
Well, you must box him out. If you put a body on him, and that's Justin Johnson. Made a mistake there, not boxing out in that zone, allowing Sherman to get that rebound for an easy finish inside.
Justin Johnson comes right back and knocks down the mid-range jumper. 22 points now for the junior. He's back next year. Rick Stansbury has a couple of big-time recruits coming in. Their first McDonald's All-American, 7-footer. Seven on the clock now, Gene. And it's Western Kentucky basketball. They got it within
in Elite 8, and I think they are possibly a Final Four caliber team.
Well, time will tell. Boy, looking at that graphic, you just take it for granted. Huh? 96-game winning streak for the UConn women. That is just hard to wrap your mind around that. We're going to call this against Louisiana Tech with 2:52 to go. Boykins picks up the foul. That's his second.
Talk about 96 in a row, partner. The games aren't close. The games are over at halftime. Every coach is recruiting from the same pool of players. Coach Ariema just gets them, makes them better. They play together collectively, and they win a lot of basketball games.
Paris leaves it short. Justin Johnson with another rebound. That's 8 rebounds. And again from 3-point range short. The home run ball Lumumba gets back and knocks it out of bounds. And now they call the foul on Lumumba.
Well, you love the outlet pass. Omar Sherman, Wes Unseld-esque. The two-hand over-the-head outlet to a streaky McCree. Nice job by Lumumba to get back, picks up that foul. More importantly, doesn't allow an easy layup in transition.
Bracy inbounds. Sherman double team. Plenty of time. Bracy, the freshman, backs it out wisely. Lumumba leaning on the big guy. So Lumumba picks up back-to-back fouls. That's 3 on him. $16 fouls now on Western Kentucky. One more, and they're going back to the line. Inside 2 minutes. Louisiana Tech, since February of 2012, 75-4 inside this building, but 2 of those losses this year. Gene with a drive, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Western Kentucky. 7 on the shot clock for the Bulldogs.
That's just bad luck there for Western Kentucky. Did the job defensively, forcing a tough attempt. The block shot, but as Johnson fell down, ball rolled off his ankle.
McCree leans in. 3 on the clock. And there's going to be a shot clock violation. Johnson. Wow. Derek Jean, the sophomore, gets up and blocks that one at the rim. McCree comes back and Sherman finishes. Garbage time. He's got 15.
We've seen a lot of highlights throughout this contest. 3-point shots, alley-oop dunks. But for me, that is the biggest highlight of this game and the reason why with a minute to go, Louisiana Tech may step in the winner's circle. That's toughness. Toughness isn't throwing elbows. Toughness isn't pushing someone, getting into fisticuffs. Toughness is sprinting back in transition and not giving up a layup, going up high and blocking a shot at a crucial moment in the contest.
Western Kentucky, 2 minutes and 45 seconds scoring drought now as they push 3 minutes scoring drought. Lumumba is fouled. Active shooting. He should get 2. 70% shooter. He has 11 points. He's the only one besides Johnson in double figures.
Hugh Johnson thinks he has an easy finish at the rim, looking for a foul. But big fella, let me tell you, that's not a foul. That's a great hustle play in the definition of toughness. Those are the types of plays that get you in the winner's circle and could possibly allow you to be a championship caliber team. I love that play by number 1, Derek Jean, the sophomore from Miami, Florida.
Yeah, as a 6th man last year, the 5th leading scorer. Eric Conkle said that this year the light went off. He's becoming more consistent on the defensive end. He's realizing the importance of defense. Well, might have been the top defensive player we've seen tonight with that block by the rim. 45 seconds to go. Louisiana Tech will snap the skid. They'll climb to 15-8 on the year. Well, they're trying to please the crowd before they wrap this up with the alley-oop. To no avail.
Coach Conkle was telling his guys, relax, take care of the basketball. You don't need highlight-type plays right now. Just get base hits, no home runs. You don't want this clock to stop and allow Western Kentucky to step to the line and put points on the board. Make the easy play. It's about time and score late in the game.
So Johnson, as high as 25, he's got 23. 36 seconds to go. Eric Conkle was telling me earlier this week, as we go deeper into the season, if they can stay healthy and stay out of foul trouble, they're going to be okay. This will push their record to 7-3 in Conference USA. We already told you UAB won tonight, or Old Dominion won tonight, I should say. It's going to put Louisiana Tech in the bonus.
Western Kentucky let a lot of time run off that clock, about 13 seconds, before they decided to foul the Bulldogs. Now DeQuan Bracey, affectionately known as the Day-Day Show, and we've seen that show here tonight, steps to the line with a chance to extend this lead back to double figures.
You know, Jason, earlier you mentioned the fact that Bracey had 8 assists, 5 straight games, but he had 7 times no turnovers, 5 times just 1 turnover, and he's averaging about 27 minutes a game.
And he's a freshman. Again, you look at this team, the makeup.
They play most of their home games at home now as they close out the season. See that, 75 of the last 79 home games since 2012. "16 seconds to go.
We've talked a lot about what Bracey brings to this team. He takes care of the basketball, makes others better, but at the point guard position, shooting 66%. He's knocked down shots here. But to be a complete player, the best player he can be, even as a young guy, must step up and knock down those shots at the line.
McCree with another rebound. Final 7 seconds. That's going to do it. 76-67. Louisiana Tech comes in averaging 76. They get their average, but most importantly, they snap that 2-game skid as they climb back in the win column. Eric Conkle last year, 23 victories. That's